Hello there. What's up? Day 2 of my 33-day Grape fast, and just coming to you trying to update you on how things are going. Let's start out with a good prayer. Creator of all, Most High, thank you for giving me another opportunity to come to you and repent and ask for forgiveness for my sins. Anything that I've said, done, felt, or thought that's unpleasing in your sight, I ask that you forgive me for those things. And I just ask that you guide me. I ask that you be in every cell in my body, that you guide my tongue, you guide my mind. You pour your love into my spirit, into my heart, and sharpen me and use me as a tool. Because I do believe that you sent yourself in human form to be sacrificed for our sins in the form of Yeshua. And I appreciate that sacrifice. And I just ask that all that comes from me is, positive and things that'll be able to help people. I ask that you pour your love into the victims from the families that lost family members in a school shooting and children. Man, I just ask that you pour your love into them, provide them with strength, and watch over us all, because we never know when it's our time. And I just thank you. I thank you for all that you do, all that you have done, and all that you will do. I thank you for being almighty and all powerful. And I thank you for having mercy on a sinner like me. So, all of these things that I ask in the Most High's name, Yahweh, and our Savior, your Son, Yeshua's name, Ashe, 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 Telestai. Man, I felt bad for those people yesterday that lost kids, Start out with that, because, man, everybody want their people to come home. Everybody wants to hug their children when they come home, If you got kids, show you love them, because the Most High just might call them home, because one day they here, and baby, the next day they gone. Man, Pimp C, UGK. But, yeah, let's get back to the topic. My bad. It's just, mama hit me. I just saw that news earlier. But, yeah, so this will be day 2, like I said, on this Grape fast. And I was actually going to do this outside, but it was kind of raining. So, I decided to come in, which was cool because I had some other things that I wanted to talk about as far as to kind of pick up where I left off a little bit yesterday. And since we're talking about yesterday, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, my angles were off. I know my head was cut off through most of the videos, my first video kind of thing. But I just wanted it to be original, I wanted it to be unique, and I'm not doing any cuts, when I spit it, it's coming from the heart. So it is what it is. So now that we got that out the way. Yeah, but just to kind of pick up where I left off as far as some of the supplements that I use, kind of what my game plan was. I'm not as itching to get my grapes today, but I have a little more time to talk. So I guess first, let's see, the Grape fast. Yeah, so I plan to do 33 days of grapes. And again, I just came off a 40-day water fast, and I'm going straight into the grapes. I actually did 41 days because, like I said yesterday, I considered, I had a little pinch of BC powder, maybe like the 3rd day, because I had a headache. And so I took like a little pinch of BC powder just to knock that headache out. And then it was another day that, I kind of was working out a little bit too hard, and God was in the sun You know, I was working on strengthening that melanin, and I ended up staying out in that sun a little too long, and this was like day 35 or 30, somewhere around in there, and I got fatigued, and that sun got to me, and I had a little bit of a headache, and so I took another, like a half of BC powder then. And so for me personally, just with my mind, how I think, I felt like that was cheating, and I was like, well, I can't say I went 40 days if I, took a BC powder, then, that's not, just doing water. So to satisfy my own nerves, I went 41 days, and on day 41, I actually took some vitamins to kind of jumpstart my metabolism and get me, back used to getting some vitamins in my system before I went straight into this grape fast. So I took one of these. It's a raw one by Garden of Life, Vitamin Code for Men, multivitamins. And, I did a little research on it. It wasn't, I guess the best. I don't know what everybody prefers, but it was one of the best that I could find in that short time period. I really plan to get the 3 bitters and do, kind of like a 1-day flush with those 3 bitters. But I wasn't able to grab them in time, so what I did was I went and got some wormwood and some black walnut and some berberine. And I hope you can see that good. Like, I'm still working on this whole video and angle thing, but at the end, I'll make sure I directly get on everything so y'all have a great chance and get a great opportunity to take notes or see what I did or what I was using. And I did that for 1 day. And afterwards, I had a cup of diatomaceous earth, which I'll show you that here in a minute. And to kind of bind it and flush out, because I just wanted to do straight grapes. I couldn't make up my mind on whether I was going to do grapes and vitamins at the same time, or did I just want to just strictly get the benefits from just doing grapes and wait till after I ended my watermelon fast to do, my vitamins and, like I said, the 3 bitters. So where was I? Yeah, with the watermelon fast. I say I'm doing 33 days of grapes, and I'm going to do 33 days of watermelon. And speaking of, it's about that time, right? Yeah, to get to these grapes. And I got some grapes, and I was going to show you all how I prepare them, just in case, you don't know, they put stuff on the vegetables and the fruit. So this is how I wash all of my vegetables and all of my fruit. So, hold on. All right, so boom, back in action. And once again, it's hard to find the grapes with seeds. So, like all the mentors have said, hey, you got to go with what you can go with. So that's what I've been doing. But also, this is diatomaceous earth. And give me 1 second, and I will show y'all this little process on how I clean my fruit. Okay, so first thing first, wash your hands. Lord, can't tell you how many videos I watch. And I know people are stopping the video, this, that, and third, and whatever. But just wash your hands, please. Lord have mercy. You're going to start doing some stuff. You have me Wash your hands first. Like, come on. And this is another reason why I am not just a big fan of trying to, oh, let's go out to eat. No, dog. No. You don't know what everybody doing with their hands like that, for real. Everybody not going to take it as serious as you going to take it. And you're going to take your time to, you know, wash off all these pesticides and all of that stuff. But then you got poo under your nails. So now we ain't play that game. Let's go ahead and wash it first. Yeah, wash it up. Make that water hot. Make noodles in that water. You know, I ain't eating no ramen noodles then. Alright, man. So then I'll take these grapes. Empty them into the bowl. Alright, just like. The sun going down, it's kind of getting dark. But yeah, so first, I don't have, this expensive filter just yet to where I can, hit it with that good filtered water first. But I always try to just rinse them off first. Get a initial rinse. Soak them up real good. Whoa there, where do you think he's going? Going nowhere. On that. And kind of mix it around, because this is right out the bat. Hold on, let me get some. Just right off the bat, you can see, just a little floaties. See if I can get that to focus. You'll see a couple floaties in there, loose little stems and things. So, that's just round one with the wash. Hold on. All right. Then we strain this water off. Shrimp's trying to get away. Why not? I've seen some people kind of do it in their sink. You have to scrub your sink out and then, But I feel like it's a little quicker if I just do it in a bowl. So that's why I chose to do the bowl. I didn't do it in the sink. Try to fill that up and rinse that about 2 times. And then boom. I'll take this right here, some distilled water. Make sure it's covering over the top of it. You see people washing fruit off and vegetables, and it's not even covering it. It's just, halfway. And that's not gonna, if you're gonna wash it, you gotta soak them all. All right, here we go. Then, baking soda. Some people say, oh, do 2 tablespoons. I'm not measuring nothing out. I just kind of wing it like a real chef. Just wing it a little bit. All right, boom. And then I take some salt. Sprinkle a little bit of salt on that. Just a little bit. All right. And then here we go with this diatomaceous earth. Now, you do have to be careful with this diatomaceous earth because you don't want to breathe it in like that. It's food safe, as you can see on the pack. Hold on, I'll show you again. Because people will say, oh, it's diatomaceous earth, you can't. That's why you got to make sure you get the food grade. There you go. Boom. Food grade. So you take that diatomaceous earth. I like to hold my breath when I do that. Then you just mix that around. Just mix it around. Mix it with your hand. Mix it around. Make sure you're getting at the bottom good so you can stir everything that you just put in there back up to the top. Mix it around. All right, bad. We're going to let that set for about 15 minutes. All right, cool. Well, while I let that sit, let's talk about this salt. Okay, so that salt, as I was doing my 40-day fast, straight water, I was taking pinches of salt to make sure that I was absorbing the minerals from the salt, from the water that I was drinking. So that salt, hang on, let it over here one second. This salt. This isn't just regular Morton sea salt. I actually mix my salt together because there's, this back and forth thing on whether you should use Celtic or Celtic salt or should you use pink salt or, so because I can't always find the Celtic or Celtic salt, I'll go with pink salt if that's what they have, or this is another brand that I found right here. The Master Salt Maker. And honestly, just the taste of it. The taste of it it did have a richer taste to it. So of all the salts, if I can't find this salt right here, if I can't find this brand of Celtic salt, then I'll look for this one. And like I said, these are if I had to give a vote, I'll say these are my top two. You know, this one being first and then this one being second. I couldn't necessarily tell a difference in how it was hydrating me, but as far as, you know, just the taste, those were the two that I went with. Now, you know, pink salt, and like I said, this salt as well, the more than regular sea salt, those will work too. But, you know, you want to have a higher quality salt because, you know, they talk about how much metal and different stuff that they're having in the salt as we're using it. And, you know, we're supposed to salt every meal. And so I'm just trying to be better. I am trying to be better. And that was a mix of all of those salts in this one sea salt container right here. So it wasn't just that Morton. But, I mean, if that's what you got, like I said, with the grapes, couldn't find the seeded one, so had to go with seedless. Use what you got. Use what's available to you. In my opinion, it's your effort. You know, it's kind of like placebo. You know, what's in your mind. If you know that you consciously making a choice to do better, to be better, to feel better, to live better, then, I mean, hey, that's what it's all about. And anybody else that tell you wrong, that's their opinion. But it's for me, long as you striving to progress, then you all right with me. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, but those are my selections of salt. And like I said, those are the ones that I use every day before I would drink, you know, my little sip of water. Give me a little water right now. Boom. Needed it. Before I would, you know, drink my little water, I'd take me a little pinch. Ooh. Do it right now. Show you. Just a little bit. Just a couple little, not even a lot. Just take that and yeah, just a little bit, not much, and that's supposed to help you be able to absorb the, you know, few minerals that we do have in the water, because we know we'd rather have glass water, but I got what I could get, so there's that. Let's see what else. Yeah, as far as this grape fast. I mean, yesterday was great, or should I say grape? Yeah, and I mean, I've been rationing them out because I didn't want to just go too heavy right off the bat on eating grapes. So I got this little, like one of these little Best Western cups. You can see how small this is. That bad out the bag. And I've been filling up a cup about this size every 2 hours, and I'll eat that, and you know, so I'm just not sitting there boom 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 eating grapes. But right now I'm on an eating schedule from 11:11 to 11:11, you know, in the morning is when I start eating, and then I'll stop eating at 8:24. And we'll talk about them times another day. But, yeah, that's my eating schedule right now. So, this morning I was ready. I think I woke up about 6 o'clock. And, you know, I had some things I had to get done to try to prepare for the day. And I think I spent about 2 hours like, where is 11 o'clock? I was waiting for those grapes today. So, you know, I definitely could tell, you know, I was excited. And then once I did, I'm talking about my watch went off. I was, boop, on time. Let's go. It's time to get those grapes. So I was ready at 11:11. I was crunching. And so, I'm actually in a good space. Like my energy from 3 days ago to today was way higher. I kind of had a few cramps yesterday and the day before, but today not as much. And overall, I feel great. Like my spirits up, my energy's high. I was really putting together my workout plan because I planned to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats every day this month. But because my fast ended on the 4th and how weak I was, I was out there like Mr. Burns. And I just didn't have it in me, honestly. Just to be real, I just didn't have it in me. So I plan to build myself back up. I'm gonna start light because, like, I realize kind of where my body is. It doesn't take me a lot to do right now. I could do a little workout and I'm feeling it. And then I cramp easy right now as well. So I'm gonna finish out this month. Maybe doing like 66 push-ups, 66 setups, 66 squats, some minor, like super minor. Try to get my walking in at least a mile a day, and that'll be it. But then next month is when I'll start that workout journey. I'll be documenting everything. I want to kind of do the time lapse of how it affects my body, and I'll share that with you as well because I invite you along on this journey. I think a lot of people don't believe in themselves when it comes to this fasting thing. And I really wish more people would, because the benefits that you get from it all around is something that you just gotta feel. It's not something that you can necessarily talk about. I can tell you all day how something feels. I can tell you how putting your hand on the stove feels all day. But until you do it, you'll never know exactly how it felt to get burned. And, fasting is kind of the same way. It really is a process. And I think what it does mentally versus physically, and more importantly, spiritually, is something that everybody should feel. Like, I really want everybody to be able to have that feeling of clarity. So, yeah, with the Grape fast, going into this one is like, okay, well, like I said, I just came off a 40-day water fast, so of course I can eat grapes for 33 days. No biggie. And after my 33 days ends, like, I try to keep everybody posted. I'm not gonna post every day. I'll post maybe 3 times a week, somewhere around in there. But then I'll start this watermelon fast. And like I said, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that watermelon fast. I'll do 33 days of that. And after the watermelon, it'll be 9 days where I'll do apples, coconut, and key limes. And I can't wait for that. Cannot wait for the coconut and the key limes and the apples. Just because it'll be a variety. It won't just be one thing. But hey, I am not complaining. I just, I'm good with my grapes right now. Speaking of, let me go check on it because we got a little more time. Yeah. But let me go stir them real fast. I kind of want to stir them up. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, let me talk a little bit more about this diatomaceous surgery. Actually, I had no clue what that was at all. And my brother, he was the first one to put me on diatomaceous surgery. And I just took it in the sense of, I know my brother loved me. He's going to look out for me and got my back. And so, he had something he was doing and I was going to do it too kind of thing. He wasn't going to steer me wrong. Love me to death. Love him too. And so I was taking it and, I noticed that as far as my digestion kind of got a little better. And I wasn't on any strict diet. I was a little younger then and, just living party life, that kind of food choices, basically fast food here and there, trying to eat clean when I can. But I did notice at that time my digestion was different and it was changed. And so that really made me like it because I noticed, hey, all right, I'm flowing a little better. I could tell it was doing something for me. Couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I knew it was doing something. And so, that was a while back and it just stuck with me. And so after that, I was like, okay, let me research it a little more, look into it a little more, kind of see what the benefits are. And the parasites, which I definitely be doing a video on these parasites. But once I found out that it killed parasites and you can kind of use it as a binder to collect everything, to go ahead and flush it, that's what made me know, all right, this is something good for me. But then I had an idea and I was like, wait a minute. Well, I'm already doing, this baking soda and this salt to soak this fruit in, but I throw a little diatomaceous earth in there just to make sure anything, because whatever it comes in contact with, it's gonna kill it. So I've been doing that too. And I mean, hey, I feel like it's doing its job. So I feel like it's especially important when you're coming off a fast to make sure you putting pure things in your stomach, in your body, because you're like a baby, really. You'll feel that way too at times, but your body's trying to rebuild itself, and it's important to make sure that you're putting good things into you so good things will come out of you, because what you put in, you will put out. And I'm a firm believer in that. I believe that, that goes down to everything. Like, whatever you put in you, what you listen to, the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you eat, all of that stuff comes out of you. All of that stuff comes out of you. If you put negative in, then you bring negative out yourself, And so I just try to watch it now. Like before, I wasn't this way. And I know I changed because that's how I feel now. Like I don't want to do anything to harm my temple. It's important to me. So that's definitely a biggie for me. Let's go check these grapes. I think they're ready. And my stomach is growling a little bit. So hold on, give me a second. All right, this is what we got. So if you look, I'm trying to get it to focus. But I see from the first time we did to now, I see more stuff. I'm not going to say it's parasites. I'm not going to say it. But I do see more stuff floating in here. More than I did that first time I flushed it. And I flushed the first time pretty good when I did it with just water. But this time, I'm seeing a little bit more than I saw before. So it's kind of cloudy. I don't know if that's helping the resolution or not. Let me see if I can zoom in. Get that focus. Yeah, okay. That was a little better. Yeah, I see that. You know. So yeah, I'll try to push these grapes and fruit and stuff down so all that stuff will stay floated at the top. But then I'm about to rinse these off 2 or 3 more times with this distilled water. So give me 1 second. So boom. Rinse them off like this. This open. And get them good. That diatomaceous earth, it'll settle. So you gotta kind of hit it a couple of times. Really already clean, but that's just you gotta, even though it's clean already, you still be want to just rinse it off again. Just here's one on time, little boy. Everybody kitchen different. I seen one cat. He just be cooking stuff in his little kitchen, and I feel like he dirty his kitchen up just to make it funny, but I'll be like, nah, bruh, I'm not coming over there to eat nothing. There we go. Make them bad boys off again. After I do a good rinse with that, I try to because I'm always curious to kind of see, like, okay, after I rinse them out for a couple of times, how does this look? Let me really inspect it. So I take that bowl and put it back under it so I can catch that water. That's just me. I know I be extra sometimes. It is what it is. To each his own. Let me check my water, because if my water clean up under it, and I feel like, all right, yeah. Don't spook yourself out, because a lot of time it'll be those stems, the little stems breaking off. But for the most part, hey, we did that. You feel me? The effort was there. And like I said, that's what I care about. So, yeah. Here we go. What about these jars? See that rinse off. And then I just inspect them as I put them back together. Inspect them as I go. All right, bad. Sound crazy, but here we go. Oh. Try to get all the good ones. Put them bad boys in a jar. No, I'm not gonna sit here in red and green. But this jar kind of does help me keep the measurements on how much I'm eating. you know, because I know this jar will fill up 2 of those little cups. So I know if I fill this jar up, then, you know, that's 4 hours worth of eating for me right there. Oh yeah, I had somebody ask me, how much did I weigh when I started out? I was about 190. And so in total, I probably lost about 50 pounds. And that was actually the lightest that I've been starting out on a fast. So that dropped me. You know, getting down to this, what was it, 143.7. I think that was exact. That's the lowest I've been. I haven't been that size since maybe my freshman year, maybe in high school. So, you know, that dropped me. But, you know, I know the build back process is gonna be major and worth it. And, you know, just the detox alone was worth it. Just the spiritual journey alone was worth it. So I wouldn't take it back. And yeah, I'm looking like a shrimp right now, but I'm not tripping. Cause like a shrimp, I ain't got no parasite. So take that. No diddy. Yeah, for real. All right. So like I said, this little cup, see, that'll just about fill that up. I don't know if I fill that jar up, that mason jar, and I'll put the rest of those in that jar and fill it up and put it in the refrigerator so they get nice and cold. But excuse me, like I said, I'm hungry, so it was time to go. But that's how I watch them. That's how, you know, I try to make sure that I get any chemicals, pesticides, and parasites and bugs and all of the above off of my fruits, and I do my vegetables the same way. So, you know, I hope I was able to help somebody today, you know, give them a little information. I'm not Einstein, but I got a little something up there, and I got some good mentors backing me. And so I just, you know, each one teach one. That's how I was taught. Oh yeah, that's good. Hold up. I dropped a little bit of this on there. Just a little bit. Put just a little. But I be having everybody tripping out. They be talking about salt every meal. I salt every meal. Like, are you serious? You gonna put salt on everything? Yes, I sure will. Even the grapes. Yeah, close that back. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so yeah. 2 things before we get up out of here. I said yesterday that I would talk about how, like I said, when you fast for so long, when you go on a prolonged fast, the way that your mouth tastes, whew, I don't know exactly what the bottom of a bus seat tastes like. I don't know. But if I had to imagine it, it would be what your tongue tastes like in I want to say after 20 days of fasting. Woo! It's different. It is definitely different. But I got you. All right. So look, this is what you do. And I'm not getting sponsored by anybody, anything like that. I'm just, this is me giving my honest, my 100, my 1,000. So this stuff right here, this saved the game. It really did. I was using Tom's Wicked Fresh, which that's pretty good too. But this right here is an oil, and it actually has less ingredients than the Tom's did, which I was loving that. And I felt like it kind of lasted a little longer, kept it a little fresh. It's got coconut oil, peppermint oil, spearmint, clove, tea tree, oregano. It's a couple. Pick it up if that's what because you'll feel it. Like I said, if you're going to go on a prolonged fast, if you're going more than 20 days, your tongue is going to taste like yuck mouth. So, yeah. Make sure you check this out. If you can't get that, or they don't have it near you or anything, then if you take some coconut oil and cloves, that definitely helped the game out. It really did. To just take some cloves and a tongue scraper. Woo! Did you see it hit me? Because that's what a tongue scraper. Oh my gosh, that was saving the day. You're supposed to do that on a regular anyway. Then your little toothbrush have it on the back or whatever. But you go get your actual tongue scraper and brush your teeth. Pour a little bit of those ground cloves on there, and brush with that, and scrub your tongue down with that. Rinse out real good. And then use that tongue scraper, and then use that mouthwash. Or like I said, if you can't use that, if you can't find it, get you some coconut oil. Save the day. Thank me later. Y'all can thank me later. I dropped the jewel today. But yeah, so definitely that was my plus right there. That was my plus. I was glad I remembered to tell everybody, because I can't tell you how much that saved me. Excuse me for chewing and talking, but your boy's hungry. But last but not least, I always like to try to touch on a spiritual note on this journey. And fasting helped me, and I feel like the best way to explain it is, if you took a glass, right? Let's just say, if I take this glass and I fill it up with milk, right? And I let this glass sit right here for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, a month, 2 months, right? That milk is going to spoil. It's going to be mold. It's going to be disgusting. We probably have to air this place out. It'll be bad, right? But if I come and pour out that spoiled milk and take some fresh water or some fresh juice and pour that juice into this glass without cleaning it, I'm not going to drink that juice. I'm not going to, I'm not going to drink that juice. You're not going to drink that juice. And that's how our bodies are. That's how our temple, that's how you got to look this glass is your body. This is how I see my temple. And, smoking, drinking, eating bad, so many bad habits that we've made cool, that we, have made popular. It's not good for us. And for the Most High, He will pour that love into you if you haven't cleaned this glass. He'll pour it into you. But would you drink it? That's the question. Are you going to drink that? Are you going to, do you expect anybody else to drink that? I mean, I don't. So I really firmly believe that it takes for you to clean this glass first. Clean it. Clean it out real good. Scrub it out real good. Clean it. And then allow Him to pour His love into you. Because you're going to feel the difference. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's how I truly felt the power of His love. Once He poured that love into me, and I could take a sip out of that with confidence, woo, it was different. And I just really want everybody to feel that same feeling. So, take that time, clean yourself, purify yourself. I find that when you have distractions or things that's hindering you or holding you back, you can't really, you won't know yourself if you won't just be yourself. Does that make sense? Like, if you smoking weed all the time, you big drinking all the time, popping pills, doing stuff that that's wrong, eating bad, got parasites. If you don't take the time to purify yourself and leave all of that stuff alone and really just cleanse yourself and detox, you won't know who you are. You don't give yourself the opportunity to even know yourself. And I mean, before I stopped smoking and stopped drinking, and it had been a while. It had been a long time, and I kind of just felt like, man, once I stopped and I fasted, I just felt different. Like, I was glad that I could be able to say that, hey, I'm not smoking and I'm not drinking. And I realized what it did, not just for my mental and for my health, but for me spiritually. Because I was able to love myself, forgive myself. And that's something you'll hear me say a lot. When He poured His love into me, into my spirit, into my heart, into my mind, into my soul, I was able to forgive myself. And, I always pray that allow people to feel the power of your love. And the closest thing to the power of your love is the power of forgiveness. It's no other feeling like it. So, when it comes down to it, I think fasting really was a big part of it, because it helped me clean that glass. Because that juice tastes different then. It definitely did. I just want everybody to, be able to have that joy. So, till next time, like I said, I'll update you on how this Grape fast going and keep everybody posted. Man, y'all stay prayed up. Peace.